All right, in this example, we're asked to graph a conic section that's been rotated. So we're given this equation, x prime squared divided by 36 plus y prime squared divided by 64 is equal to 1. All right, so first of all, if this were just x squared over 36 plus y squared over 64 equals 1, then this would not be difficult to graph, right? On the x-axis, we're going to go out 6 in each direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to put our vertices here, and then on the y-axis, we'll go up 8 and down 8, and this would be our ellipse, like that. But what's happening here is that what we want to graph is this ellipse, but rotated 30 degrees to the side. Now, to write that equation is a lot more difficult because it's going to include an xy term in there. So what we're doing here is just saying, well, instead of just rotating this ellipse, let's rotate the whole world, the whole plane. So we'll have this. So now this is our x prime axis, and this is our y prime axis. We've just rotated everything 30 degrees. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are our vertices, and we can draw that ellipse like this. All right. But what the question is wanting us to do is to draw this ellipse, but on that xy axis. And so what we have to do there is convert our vertices. So in our original graph, we had vertices. Our center, of course, is at 0, 0. And we had vertices along the y-axis at, let's see, 0, 8, and 0, -8. And then along the x-axis, we had vertices at 6, 0, and at -6, 0. And so now in order to graph this on our regular xy plane, we need to just find the locations of these vertices on the xy plane. And to do that, we're going to use these two conversion equations over here. All right, so to find our x, let's just start with the center. The center is going to be x is equal to x prime, which is 0, times the cosine of 30 degrees, minus y prime, which is also 0, times the sine of 30 degrees. And obviously that's going to end up being 0. And the same thing for the y. Y is equal to 0 times the sine of 30 degrees plus 0 times the cosine of 30 degrees. Those are both going to end up being 0, which makes sense. We want our center to still be at 0, 0. Let's do the vertices now. So for this one, let's plug in 0 for x, or for x prime. So x prime is 0 times the cosine of 30 degrees minus y prime, which is 8, times the sine of 30 degrees. And then for the y coordinate, we plug in x prime is 0 again, times the sine of 30 degrees, plus 8 times the cosine of 30 degrees. And then, so these are going to end up being 0. X is equal to negative 8 times the sine of 30 degrees. So the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. So x is going to end up being negative 8 times 1/2, which is negative 4. And y is going to be 8 times the cosine of 30 degrees, which is square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 3 over 2 times 8 is going to be 4 times the square root of 3. So that's our, that's going to be this vertex there. So we're going to come back negative 4 and up 4 times the square root of 3. But that square root of 3 is about 1.7, 3.4, 6, about 6.8, somewhere in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up in here is going to be our vertex there. And now if we think about this, the opposite vertex is just going to be these same numbers but with the opposite signs. So that's going to be at positive 4. So this vertex here is negative 4, 4 square root of 3. And then this vertex here is going to be positive 4, negative 4 square root of 3. So that'll be down here. All right, now let's convert these two. So we get x prime is 6 times the cosine of 30 degrees minus 0 times the sine of 30 degrees. And then over here we get 6 times the sine of 30 degrees plus 0 times the cosine of 30 degrees. Cosine of 30 degrees is square root of 3 over 2. Times 6 is going to be 3 square root of 3. And then sine of 30 degrees is 1/2 times 6 is 3. So this vertex here is going to be square root of 3 over 3, 3. What would that be? 1.7 times 3 be 3, 4, 5.1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 3, so right around there. And then this vertex is just going to have the opposite signs. So it'll be negative square root of 3 square root of 3 and negative 3. So that vertex will be down there. And then we can draw that ellipse there.